Yeah, it doesn't matter what I mean. You can sell if you can't sell yourself, you can't sell anything.
All right, this is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro studios. And on this episode, I have a very special guest. I have another queen. And oh man, I can't tell you how this feels. I've been having so many beautiful queens for the past few weeks, and it's been lovely. And I really hope to keep it going that way, because when we got started with this, we had a lot of testosterone, a lot of sausages. Excuse my language, but I really, in my heart, really wanted to make sure that the ladies understand that they can absolutely have this type of massive success that we keep talking about, and I'm so grateful that we have her on here today. She's gonna tell you all our story. I'm gonna be asking a lot of questions. As a matter of fact, we just finished hanging out together in Vegas with some other great leaders in the industry. So it's fresh, and so you can get ready today to receive a lot of value from this particular interview. Now, without any further ado, we have Chiara Francica, right?
Francica.
Francica. Oh, all right. Close enough, right? Is it close enough?
It's very close. Yes, well done.
Thank you for coming on.
You got it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. And so, today we're just gonna have a good time just talking about this industry. We're gonna be, if you don't get real with me, I will ask questions that will make you get real with me. And I know that we gotta be leaders. We gotta be, because there's certain information that certain people cannot handle, but we're gonna be as political as possible. So tell us your story. How did you come into this crazy world of entrepreneur? You have to be crazy to be doing this. How did you get into this world?
All right, so I had kind of been looking into coming online for a while. Well, it goes back a few years. But I started seriously back in November 2014, I believe it was. Yes, 2014. Okay. And what happened was I had to be let go because I couldn't give any more energy to the corporate world. I was an HR professional at the time. I had been doing it for 2 years, and the company I was working for at the time, I just couldn't handle working for them anymore. I was literally just a number. There was no care whatsoever for my ambition, or, I wanted to grow. I was always ambitious about, becoming better in a company. And, they couldn't care less about that. So, but they were always willing to put me under a lot of pressure, give me extra jobs, and, give me more than I can handle whilst being underpaid. So my paycheck just couldn't stretch. At the end of the month, I would be left with a minus always in my bank account. So I wasn't even living paycheck to paycheck. I was living a miserable life, So what happened was, when I got let go, I decided I'm either going to keep going in this vicious circle of going back to another job, being happy in the first few months and then being unhappy again and start looking for another job, and so on and so forth. So instead I decided I'll start looking for a way to make this work online. So that's when my venture started, and obviously I didn't have success overnight. It took me a good 14 months. So, but that's when I started. That's where the journey started for me.
So just about 2 years ago, pretty much 2 years to this month. Interesting. Now, in your most recent deal, your most recent venture right now, how much in total team sales? Total team sales. I just want to put that out there so people can understand we're talking to the right people.
I'm going to have to check for you to give you an accurate, because I have no idea.
I like that. I like that. Real time. That's as good as it gets, right?
Yeah. And I'm actually being seen on webcam.
You say what?
I'm actually being seen on webcam.
Okay.
Listen, can people see the...
Yes.
Okay, 1 second then. I'm just loading this. Internet's a little slow because I don't know why.
We can see you. And she's checking on a mobile phone, by the way. She's checking on an iPhone. Thank you for promoting iPhone the more. I'm an iPhone head too. Even though it's the wackest phone in the world. And we're going to talk about that too.
Awesome. All right, I'm just gonna scroll and get these earnings. So, grand totals. Um,
This is in
so
about 6 months, right? Or less.
a bit more now. It's 8 months.
8 months.
So
Okay.
it looks like, I believe it's this amount. It's 675,000 plus.
$675,000 in eight
Plus
months. Okay, perfect. Thank you for
total
giving me that.
sales.
Yes, yes. That's a powerful number to show because in the real world, really what people care about when we're talking this kind of thing is sales, is results, production, total production. And that's why I always like to share that. Now, 2 years is some people would say, oh man, it's gonna take me 2 years. What would you say to that kind of person that say, oh man, it's gonna take me 2 years to get there? Or what would you say to yourself 2 years ago if you thought about that?
I would say it's totally worth it because, I mean, look at it this way. A lot of people amaze me. Like, they have no issue just throwing a huge amount of money in university, going to study, but they have no guarantee if they'll pass their examinations
Mm-hmm.
and if they'll get a job that's going to cover their debt instantly and pay them off enough money to live a great lifestyle, the way we do.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm in a position where I'm earning while I'm learning. So with the money I'm earning right now, I'm already living an amazing life. I'm extremely comfortable, and I'm just gonna keep earning more, and I'm just gonna keep scaling.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, I told myself, go for it. It's like, I wish you went. I wish you started sooner. What the hell are you waiting for? I'd slap myself in the face for not even starting yet.
Right.
So 2 years is nothing. I struggled for 14 months, and actually, I think I should stop using the word struggling, and I think all entrepreneurs should stop this because it's a learning process.
Yeah.
We don't start off with a skill set. We need to develop a skill set. So that's what the whole process is. So you just need to develop a skill set, which is, by the way, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple. So anyone can develop it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you're right. It's not easy because the major reason why it's not easy is because of people's mindset before. They overthink everything. But the truth is that what we go through every day, us being here right now having this conversation, it's probably one of the simplest thing ever you can do in life. And but it's as simple as blessing other people. And I remember having a conversation about this interview with you, and you said, actually, it's about helping people, Ola, right? You remember you say that? Right. And it's that if you come to the table with that mindset, it all makes sense. But yeah, thank you for that. Now, here's the thing. At what point, before I get to what point, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. What was your background? Did you go to high school, whatever you call it, in Berlin? Did you go to college? What was that like? And how, whatever that was, how did that help you to get to where you are right now?
Okay, so I made it all the way up to university. I was always, if the thing is, I was kind of brainwashed by society, thinking I need to go to university. That was the thing to do, and people would be proud of you if you went to school, like if you went to university. So I made it to university because I wanted to kind of live up to society's expectations. Now, my background is psychology, so I didn't study any marketing or sales. Actually, I hated sales all my life, and I always hated it, I tried direct sales jobs, I remember. I used to just go the first day, and I would never turn up the second day. Literally, I would disappear.
Right.
And so, in all honesty, none of that helped me in entrepreneurship. I think most of the education that I have today that has been needed for me in this business was, honestly, I got it by myself.
I like that you said earlier that you're learning, or you're earning while you're learning, right? And we have a slogan here we call learning, earning, and building empires. It's kind of funny that you said that. And I do believe that, anybody that gets to a place where they can't learn anymore, you're either dying or you're growing, right? And the whole life of an entrepreneur is really all about learning. as opposed to what some people call earning. Even my father, every now and then I have to correct him. He would say, "Oh yeah, but you wanted to get rich quick at some point." I was like, "I never did that. You totally misconstrued it. They misunderstand us, they misunderstand us, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's a mindset thing, So you just said that society brainwashed you. I've broken my father's heart a few times. I was supposed to go to architecture. I said, no, I'm doing computer engineering. I was supposed to finish computer engineering and go find a job. I said, no, heck no, I'm going to start my business, right? So, but because it's not their fault, they love us, right? And they want us to do what they perceive as best, right? Maybe because they failed at following their dreams in the past. Did you experience the same thing in your family?
Yeah, in fact, part of my story was my dad has a successful business, and his dream, and my brothers, because I have two elder brothers, and they took over my dad's business. So their dream was that I actually joined them, because they always saw how ambitious, and I was a hardworking individual. So they really wanted me to be part of the business. And I did try, and I even tried it temporarily, but it wasn't for me. So I could have had it easy, honestly. I could have literally just found my place in the company, which was already successful, and just go with that. But it just didn't fulfill me. It wasn't my baby. It was my dad's baby. My brothers did well, all well and good. They're very happy, and I'm glad it's going well for them. But it just wasn't for me. So I actually gave up my share. I said, I don't want my share. You can have it. So I'm not even in online marketing for money. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, money gives me the freedom. And I'm definitely not willing to live on that paycheck I had as an HR professional. But it was very important for me to do something that made me happy. So yes, I had that. But luckily, my parents wanted me to be happy as well. And like you said you broke your dad's heart. My parents, I spoke about this in fact yesterday on Facebook Live. My parents, they had a hard time watching me crawl. And it's not because they don't want me to do this business, but they tried at times to get me out of it, because they thought I had my hopes up for nothing, and they couldn't understand that there was no anything tangible involved. But here I am today, and I proved everyone that this is for anyone at the end
Absolutely.
of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. In business, there's ups and downs, right? You've only been in for 2 years, and of course we want everything to keep going. But I'm sure just even in the last 3 months alone, even with your present venture, even with you listening to the corporate stuff like that, there's ups and downs. How do you handle that? Or you have team members coming to you, what's going on? How do you handle that?
How do I handle my ups and downs?
Ups and downs, I mean, there's always ups and downs in anything. It's not just shoot up like that. If it's like that, newsflash is gonna come when it feels like it's not going that way anymore, and maybe you got to switch gears or something like that. If you haven't had that, how would you handle it? Even if you haven't had a team member come to you and say, hey, they didn't pay me on time. Hey, we have this trouble. Hey, it's not converting as much as it should convert.
Well, it depends on the down, obviously, but when it's team members and they're complaining, in all honesty, I'll ask myself how I attracted such team members. I don't really, to be honest, I don't have those kind of team members anymore. I don't attract them anymore. But to me, people with those, people who complain all the time, or who want to try and come up with some way of calling the business shady.
Right.
Well, what I do is I try and make them understand that, for example, in our primary business, we've had challenges already, but that's because we're growing so fast. So I try and explain that. If they don't understand that, then maybe this is not a good fit for you, because as a business owner, you have to understand that not everything can run smoothly for you.
This is true.
But in general, when I do have especially challenges, what I do is I always make sure that I'm grateful. So I think of what I can be grateful for. And the first thing that comes to mind is that I'll embrace any challenges this business comes with, as opposed to having a dreadful 9 to 5, reporting to someone that made me miserable, waking up every morning with knots in my stomach, not wanting to go to work, having no purpose. I was literally just living when I had my 9 to 5. So honestly, the challenges that come with this business, the ups and downs I get with this business, they don't really affect me, because compared to what I had before, I'll embrace them and I'm much happier with them than what I had before, in all honesty. So I'm grateful every morning, and I wake up with a smile on my face, because I have something that doesn't drag me down anymore.
Great. Now, when people watch your videos, right, or your Facebook Live or any of those things, they're gonna have to dig a little deeper to know what you're involved in. You do a great job at leading with your brand, with yourself, right, with you as a leader. Where did you learn that from, and how big is that for your business today?
Where did I learn that from? I think what I've done mainly is I found people that I truly resonate with. So one of my favorite marketers is Ray Higdon. So I'm a lot, and I mimic him a lot. And a lot of people tell me, where do you get your skill set from? You're a natural. And I'm like, I've been doing this for 2 years. Like, I instantly, I don't know what it was about video, but it was imprinted in me that videos are the way moving forward. If you want a good brand on social media, there's nothing like video, because that's what makes you real.
Yeah.
But I believe that video is my forte, and Facebook Live is my forte, because I practiced like every week. I'm consistent. I don't miss out. And secondly, I mimic people who I know make it work. So if I see that they're talking about a certain subject, or they're getting a lot of engagement in a video, a specific video that is solving the needs of my market, then I will mimic that video, because I know that my market will enjoy watching it too.
Yeah.
So Ray Higdon, he's always solving problems with the same niche as us. So I would go to someone like him, watch him, take notes, and then do the video in my own voice. Another example is, at the event, there were lots of great leaders. Every event, most events, they have good speakers. If you're like picky about which events you go to, if you're taking notes, then I'm sure that if you do videos with those notes, then you're gonna have great content out there that people are gonna enjoy watching, and it's gonna make them stick to you as a leader. They look up to you as a leader in the niche.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because it's so powerful. Ray Higdon is absolutely somebody that I use as yardstick as well too, when it comes to content marketing. So when it comes to self-branding, when I asked you the question, I asked you about self-branding, but you totally flipped it around. I like it. Okay, totally flipped it around, and it became you giving value to the marketplace, and you just taking something, mimicking content that you feel like to help your followers. So again, it's coming back to you helping and giving value back to the marketplace, follower. By any chance, would you want to attach that to how good your sales conversion is? What's your mindset when it comes to sales conversion?
My mindset?
When you think, hey, I'm putting this message together, I'm putting this sales message together, what's the first place you go to make sure that it converts, that people resonate with it, it's compelling, and they buy?
I think I focus more on helping people. I really don't focus on picks.
You don't want to, I see that you don't want to sound like a broken record, but it keeps coming up. It's true. You want to help people.
It's something Zig Ziglar talks about as well. Is like, if you want to get what you want, so obviously in this case, we're talking about monetary value here, then you need to give first. So I think I was taught the right way when I came online. It was to always give first. So it obviously took a while. When I came online, I was obviously desperate to make money, so I didn't start off on the right foot. It wasn't all about helping people. At first, it was about making money. But then I shifted my mindset, and when I completely became giving, that's when I started to see money come in. It's amazing. The more I help, the more people I get. Every time I do a Facebook Live,
Mm-hmm.
I get so many people messaging me. It's nonstop. Like sometimes if I want to reduce the amount of messages I get in my inbox, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
surprised. It's just I would just not need to not do a live video, because it's my live videos. I get people asking me what I do, and I
Mm-hmm.
rarely attach a link. Sometimes if you see a link, it will be either to my Facebook group
Mm-hmm.
or to a freebie offer that I have. I
Mm-hmm.
rarely pitch my business. It's once in a while that I do it, because people will ask me anyway. So
Yeah.
that's how. But when I do pitch, I
Right.
always give value first. I never pitch, and it's just a pitch,
Listen.
because it's not gonna sell. People want to know what's in it for them. If they don't see what's in it for them, they see no
Right.
reason to buy it. And people hate being sold to. I just see people repel from me if I do that.
Right. Now, our audience here is a mix of internet marketers, network marketers, and some people in real estate investing. All businesses, in my opinion, have everything in common. You know, you have to give first before you can receive. The Bible said it, the scripture said it, real life says it. It's not just spiritual, it's physical, right? Zig Ziglar said it, right? If you want to get what you want, right, just help more people get what they want. So it comes down to this right now. As a newbie, you know, somebody who is in network marketing, for example, right, and they just joined their first deal or whatever, and they're not confused. Like, what do I give? I'm new. I'm brand new. What would you say to that person?
Okay. So it goes back to what I said before when I was talking about mimicking. And in fact, Tony Robbins loves to talk about this. He coined the term modeling, which is, you know, if you want to be successful, just copy someone else who's been successful. And that is the easiest way to success. And that's how I did it. And that's how I still do it. Sometimes when I'm stuck and I don't know what to talk about, I just go find someone that I truly resonate with. And I just take some ideas for content. I don't copy it word for word. I
Yeah.
just do it in my own voice. It doesn't come easy at first. You know, I'm probably coming across like it's an easy thing,
Mm-hmm.
but mimicking is a skill set you need to develop. So I recommend people start, you know, watching videos of people they love. So I don't know, let's say they enjoy watching you. They enjoy your
Right.
podcast. I'm sure they get tons of value from your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So they start taking some notes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from different interviews that you're taking, because I'm sure every person you bring brings a lot of value to the table.
Yes.
All they would need to do is, you know, take some of those notes, some, you know, things that they truly resonate with, and they just voice it in a piece of content, on a blog, on a video, on Facebook, whatever traffic source they decide to utilize. You know, the
Yeah.
next thing I do is, and this is where people really get stuck. They get this information overload and they don't know what to do. They see different traffic sources and they try them all. You know, they need to pick one. Don't try everything. You know, if you see me doing Facebook and you see, I don't know, someone else doing YouTube, doesn't mean you need to do both. Just pick one. I was successful with just one strategy for 14 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I moved on to something else. But I spent 14 months with one traffic source only.
Mm.
That's a huge piece of advice for newbies. Pick one traffic source. Don't touch anything else. Just stick to the information you get for that one traffic source. Eliminate anything else and just work on that.
And just master it. All right. So yeah, we're still gonna go to traffic source because all of this without people is zero. We have the 3 P's, right? The people, the product, and the process, right? So you know, process, product. We have product. We have process. As a matter of fact, I tell people the product needs to be you. Not, I don't care what you're selling. Real estate, you're selling cream, you're selling soap. I don't care what that is. That product needs to be you because people do business with people, right? Now, with that being said, you just mentioned information overload. Information overload, somebody defined it once upon a time as not taking action. You know, you have to, the only way to get the information overload is because you're not taking action. I mean, after a point, allow your brain to tell you, hey, go take action on this before you soak in so much, and then you get overwhelmed. It could be any. We can all get overwhelmed. Like right now in America, right now everybody's overwhelmed today with Donald Trump winning, right? So it could be any of that, but that will not be an excuse for you not to thrive. It will always be your fault, even though our sales letter may say it's not your fault. If you don't thrive, it will be a shame, because the truth is that we all have the same platform, right? Now let's take it down to traffic source, right? Paid or free? If the answer is not as simple as one or the other, please explain.
I would say if no budget, start with free. And then after you've built your first 6 figures with free, then move on to paid. That's what I did. But if you have the money, then go with paid traffic right away. But just pick one method. So that's my advice. So
That's your advice.
One or the other. Pick one or the other. Don't go with both, because they're two completely different worlds. Because sometimes people come to me, they're like, "Can I do your strategy, free Facebook, and then do solo ads?" I'm like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "They're two completely different worlds. We're speaking of two completely different markets." You know, because normally when you're doing free traffic, the people who are online on Facebook already are people who are already in MLM. But if you're doing solo ads, you're talking to newbies, so two different
total different human beings, type of human beings entirely, total different mindset.
Exactly. So I tell people, pick one and learn how to speak to that market. You know, so and that really eliminates a lot of the issues that they normally have to face, because they don't realize that they're speaking to two different languages when they're dealing with two different traffic sources. So that's my that's my advice. If you have no budget, start with free. If you do have a budget, then go with paid and pick one. Just pick one.
What do you think you would use attraction marketing the most, paid or free? Like for example, in the free zone, you go online on Facebook, and your target market is what when you're doing free? Who are these people? If they're not newbies.
My market is struggling marketers, so people are already in the industry, but they have no idea what they're doing. I think attraction marketing is really utilized for both, to be honest. I mean, with free, it works so well, and they just hunt me down. I don't need to hunt anyone down. So that's the beauty of attraction marketing, and it works so well with free marketing.
Okay. All right, now let's talk scalability, right? You put in $1, you make $10. You just hope that if you put in $2, it makes $20 or more, right? You're just hoping that, right? But in business, it may not work that way, right? Since you started doing paid marketing right now, how do you feel about scalability in this business? Is it where do you balance scalability and sustainability? Because you can run out of money. You could go broke if you do this thing wrongly. Your take.
So I'm still in the beginning stages, but I'm already seeing great results. And I'm at a point where at least I've let go of having to build my network manually. Because free strategies are great. And that's why I said if you have no budget, then do free Facebook, because you have no budget. But unfortunately, free Facebook is not scalable. So I had to, outsource. And
you mean Facebook free?
With free Facebook, obviously you can't scale, because you have to do everything manually.
Right.
Network manually. So you're always posting content out there. Now it's story. I basically automated I have my ads outsourced, so it's all automated. And business is scaling slowly. We still need to tweak a few things and and work on converting the ads better. But my signups come in automatically while I sleep, when I'm out. So I am not really doing anything anymore. So I'm practically hands-free. I just post content every day. I just send every day, and I post content on Facebook, and I send people to my Facebook, because that's where I convert as a brand. So I am much more hands-free. So scaling with paid has really like given me way more time freedom than I had before.
Absolutely. I keep telling people, content marketing, I teach this thing called the green traffic system. And green traffic system is something I coined as a way to say it doesn't self-implode. I've seen a lot of people go broke doing paid, even though they were rich, even though they had money starting off, even though they created massive results, but they go broke. And the people that I've seen around that kind of like have this evergreen brand and they don't ever go anywhere are usually people that practice what I'm saying. That means they will do paid marketing and they will push out content every day too, so it offsets each other. Pushing out content every day is something that, I do it, and you were saying earlier, mimicking, right? Modeling, right? And one of the things I did when I got started is that I'm not really paying that much attention to what you're teaching me to do. I am taking notes, but I'm actually paying attention to what you're doing, right? So if you push content out every day, maybe I should be doing that too. And when I say content, for those that don't, that means video. That means some kind of information that people can consume, right? A blog post, something like that, right? So if I see the people that I'm trying to follow or trying to get the result they're looking for, and they're doing that daily, maybe I should learn how to do that daily. That's the way I thought about it. And that's why it resonated well with me when you said mimicking, or you said, Tony Robbins said modeling. I call it spying. You got to spy on the leaders. You got to find out what they're doing, and it's not, and there are, in English language, there are only 26 alphabets, right? We all take the same 26 alphabet and turn it into whatever we want. So there's no copying at the end of the day, because once you say it, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes a different content. But then there's somebody that would rather listen to Chiara say what I'm saying right now than listen to me. That's just what that is. And vice versa, So I always tell people, like, listen, content marketing is not something you ever want to outgrow. You can outsource it. You can outsource posting it. But you don't, because and I had this conversation with David Wood as well. I had a conversation. I know somebody right now spending $3,000 or less every month and makes $100,000 as a one-man business, maybe a couple of virtual assistants, and that's what I call the evergreen thing. So definitely you're resonating with me when you say, hey, because I still see you actively doing Facebook Live, right? But then you're getting into the paid marketing, but the best place to be is to find a balance between the two. Maybe not do as much. You won't have to spend. Let me ask you this question. When you only focus on free, right? How many hours did you spend per day doing that? Be honest, please.
With free, it was 5 to 6, especially in the beginning.
Not bad. That's actually not bad.
Tennis come online for freedom, lifestyle freedom. But the thing is, even though I do Facebook Lives, the thing is, I'm quite addicted to posting content on Facebook. What I was wasting time on was the manual conversations every day. But now that I am having my list built for me, it's completely outsourced. It's done with Facebook ads. What I do is I still post content on Facebook. But what I'm doing is I send people from my list to my Facebook. So I still need to do the content every day. So I'll just do it, either through a live, because Facebook Live is by far the easiest way to engage with your audience. You have a live audience. You can't get more real. And to be honest, the foundation of a sale is showing people you're a real person. Honestly, for me, that's a sales conversion. Show people you're a real person, you get the sale. Because people are tired of being sent to sales pages. They're tired of seeing marketers hide behind sales pages or behind a computer. So your job is to be different, be the complete opposite, and just come across as a real person. So even when I'm building a list and I'm not doing of the manual networking, I will still do content where I can have people engaging with me live and engaging with me as a human being.
Yes, big deal. And I like how you just said it, because I'm always trying to think outside of the box too. The typical send people to a capture page and then they land on the sales ladder, right? That everybody can pretty much predict that's what's going to happen. at least in the existing marketers and stuff, right? But I'm always thinking, like, for example, if you build a list, right, you can push people from your list to your Facebook to come watch you live. So you have that leverage now once you start doing paid marketing and you're building a list, right? I thought about something at one point. I'm like, why not when somebody opts in, instead of giving them a sales letter, just say maybe maybe you do Facebook Live once a week, right? But you have a link to it. You can just put your live link right there and say, hey, listen, I'm on Facebook right now. Just come join me live. And they watch the whole conversation. They watch all the interaction. There's all kind of things your mind just start going wild when you understand that it's all about giving first, right?
Exactly. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah. You said addiction. You were addicted. Is that the same thing as you created a new habit? It became habitual for you to just post content on Facebook? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell my students or people I talk to, your earnings, your results are a reflection of your daily habits. So you need to start getting into the habit of having specific daily habits that are going to get specific results for you. And I'm pretty much addicted to it. I'm addicted to helping people. So, because at the end of the day, that's what brought me results. And that's what gives me satisfaction and fulfillment. So, I don't really do it for the money anymore. I just do it because it really helps people, to be honest. I think my audience on Facebook is pretty much, I don't like to use the word saturation, but I don't think I can really monetize it anymore, which is why I built a list now, because I stopped doing it. That's why.
Right.
But I'm just so addicted to it. It's just, it became a habit now. And it's a good habit to have, because I still use my live sessions all the time.
Right.
Like I said, send my list to it, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good addiction to have.
I think you can monetize them, but that's probably an after conversation that we should have. I think you can monetize them because at the end of the day, it comes down to how more can you help them, right?
You can, but I don't like to burn out people either. So I'm more about the relationship, the long-term relationship, than burning people out. I could send them multiple offers. My audience trusts me so much.
I wasn't even talking about that. I know that's the typical thing that people will say first, right? Hey, let's just send them multiple offers. No. I'm actually coming from a standpoint of they always need help. You and I still need help right now in the level we are right now. And we're going to pay money for somebody to help us or some kind of service to help us to the next level, right? No matter what level you are in life. So if you have the audience, you can always monetize them ethically, you know, by actually finding out what they want. You know, but again, you know, that right there is something that I had to wake up to as well, too, because I always felt like, hey, you know, saturation. But you said it first in the beginning. You said, I don't like to use the word saturation because honestly, there's no such thing. The only time that such thing exists if you never find out what they want now. What would they like to? What would they like to consider a next level right now? How can you help them achieve that, right? Now, what would you say to people that say 5 to 6 hours a day, and I'm broke, you know, and I don't have that time. I got to go to the job. The people that are very quick to say, I don't have time to create content, daily content, so they can change their lives, right? What would you say to those people?
I mean, we have dead time every day, I'm sure. You're either in the train going to work, or I remember instead of listening to music, I used to listen to content. And that was how, you know, there is some time in the day where you can find a way to be inspired to create content. And then creating that piece of content won't take you ages. Like, I used to create my content pieces in lunch breaks. Or like I said, if I'm catching the bus to go somewhere, then I would, you know, have my laptop. I would always have my laptop with me, of course, and I would just create a content piece so that when I go home, I have it typed out and I just post it. You know, I've planned webinars on plane rides. Like if I had no Wi-Fi, I'd plan a webinar. I'd create the whole plan for it. So I'm always making use of that time in the beginning, especially when you have your 9 to 5. I had more than a 9 to 5. I worked probably more than 12 hours sometimes. But like I said, lunch breaks, I never took cigarette breaks. So instead I would, write my own content pieces during that time.
I think as entrepreneurs, ultimately, I like to be as nice as Chiara, but it's really our job to make it happen, no matter what, right?
Yeah, we're unstoppable.
Just make it happen. Do what you got to do. You got to sleep a little earlier. You got to wake up earlier. Do what you have to do. But there's no sustainable business. I hate to say it's network marketing 2.0, name of the show. You will not build a sustainable income if you don't push content and build your own brand. You just won't. If you have success, it will crumble eventually. That's just what it is. And this thing has a way of coming around. But when you when you really worry about people, because you just said you listen to content, and one of my best students ever was listening to a content that I created, an audio on his way down to an event, and sometimes they will hear that one word that will absolutely change their life, that will pump them, and then you wonder where that came from, So it's a beautiful thing what we're talking about, and I think content marketing. I wanted to. It can never be, because people are hungry for information. That's like the number one thing that people are hungry for right now, So if you can help them do that, sure. Psychology and sales. Your background was psychology, and you hate sales. How do you explain that? I'm lost. Your background was psychology, and you hated sales at the time. Now you love sales because you have the skills, right?
The thing is, it's because I didn't see sales the way I see it today. For me, sales was about pushing people before and being a pushy, annoying salesperson. I was always thinking of sales as calling people on the phone and having the phone cut in my face. But that's not sales for me. I actually don't do that strategy, and that's a tactic I would never teach my students. Like I said, I'm all about traction. People hunt me down. Like sometimes I can't handle people. Like they keep asking me what it is I do or how they can be successful. Like if you give, like it really comes down to the same concept. If you give, people are gonna be like, wow, this person cared enough to put a free piece of content to help me solve my needs. What if I had to join them in their business, partner with them in business? Wow, they would take my business to the next level, because that's how they look at you. When you educate, they look at you as an expert, and because you're giving them content for free, they imagine that it would be amazing working with you. They would say, what it would be like if I actually had to pay this person to help me out. Yeah. So that's the psychology behind people, when that's how they see you when you're educating the market.
What if somebody comes to you and say, oh yeah, right, because you're pretty face, of course you're attracting people. What would you say to that person?
Well, I had the same face for 14 months when I struggled.
Right.
And it's funny because a lot of people think that being beautiful is part of it, but the thing is, my target market is mainly women. Women who want to be successful in social media, and to be honest, it's my favorite market as well. I do have men, but most of them are family men, and some came to the event with their wife. So people think that people come with certain intentions to me, but that's definitely not my market. I really don't attract
people actually express that to you? They actually say it, or you said people? How did you know that? They actually say that?
Yes, of course. People will find any excuse not to start being successful. Like I've had people tell me, it's easy for you because you have 8,000 followers. I'm like, listen, when I built my Facebook account, I had none.
It was zero. No, Facebook, no, Mark Zuckerberg just loved you so much. He thought your pretty face was pretty. Let me throw her 8,000 targeted people so she can do that business.
Facebook doesn't even want us to market with our profile.
I tell people all the time, you can't lie about this business. People want to call anything entrepreneurship or out of their mindset, they want to call it a scam. If it looks like it's not normal, they want to call it a scam. Actually, the scam is people that think that way, you know. The authenticity in building this business is out of this world. You can't lie. You know, the engagement would tell on, if you go buy followers, the engagement would tell on you. You know, I just started a brand new YouTube channel because they slapped our original. Because of haters, but even the original is building at, we have like 150 or 140 something right now, something like that, the subscribers, and it's building slowly. And this is the time that most newbie will quit and say, you know, I want 400,000 subscribers. And the truth is that if you're given, you know, it takes time, but it will get there. And once it gets there, you'll be blown away. But most people, sadly, will never get there because, like you said, they're giving all these excuses. She has a pretty face, or he's a talker. He's a natural on video. They have all this thing they say to themselves. They tell themselves these stories to discourage themselves, you know. Now, when it comes to people telling themselves stories to discourage themselves, right, I'm sure you've had a few students that you have to tell, like, don't. How do you handle it when somebody comes to you and you can detect it, that they're telling them a bad story that may be obstructing them from success? Somebody's watching us right now and they're doing that. What would you say to them?
I would say that nobody had it easy. No, anyone successful never had it easy. And I'm talking not just us. If you look at celebrities in Hollywood, most of them come from a struggling background. Mm-hmm. And you know, in order for us to be successful, we actually all need to start from rock bottom. You know, I was listening to Tony Robbins, and he actually said, and this is something that I tell my students now, mm-hmm. you know, don't look at me today. You know, it's very important that you start from rock bottom, because mm-hmm. that is your only motivation to spring up and do something to change your life. If we're not in a miserable state, then how on earth are we going to be motivated to change our life? I now am grateful for being so miserable in my work, for hating my job every day, and for feeling sick in the stomach, because it was that actually got me here today. That was the only motivation that I had to bring me here today. So some people started off in a worse position than me. Some people started homeless, you know. But that's what brought them out of their misery. They had that why. If your why is not big enough, then, you know. So, I can't remember what the question was.
The story, we're telling them that if they have the why, it's right on path, because we're saying they're telling themselves this story. They say, no, she's better. No, he's a natural. Oh, he's so natural at doing it. He likes the video, right? Oh, I don't look good enough, right? Whatever, they're telling themselves all the story, why they should not start right now to start putting videos out there, right? That's what we're talking about. And I think you answered it. Everyone's starting from the same place.
I think we need to show them our very first video.
Right. Yeah.
Horrible.
The truth is that my very first video, you know, I think we were engaged in a challenge, which I've created a 27 days challenge called the My Empire Challenge right now. And I'm challenging you into it, by the way. My Empire Challenge is just 27 videos of telling your story. I'll share with you after, okay? So now we got into a challenge. We actually paid $600 to get into it, right? And it was all about telling your stories. And in the midst of that, there was a product called the Traffic Geyser that we signed up for, and you had to shoot a 10-10 video of you answering a question, right? Of you saying something, telling a story, right? And then you have another video of you acting like you're being interviewed or something like that, right? And before you know, you have 30 pieces of content, right? So just another way for someone to come up with something to take them out of their own brain and stop telling themselves they couldn't do it. Like, for example, today we start from my passion all the way down to my legacy, right? Like, we give them a seed title so they can have something to think about, tell a story, give a call to action, right? Because we know that people will always tell themselves the story. And one of the best ways is to get into something that puts you into a chokehold, right? So you don't even have room. You have like a template, a checklist, or something to follow, right? So that's what we're doing today to get people in there. Because listen, I can teach you Facebook ads. I do Facebook ads. As a matter of fact, I'm going to teach you Facebook ads. But you're going to fail if all you're doing is sending people through a capture page and hoping that they convert, because they're not going to convert every single time, you know? So how do you get people to convert? How do you get people to fall in love with the idea of doing business with you? You know, I don't have to turn to a woman first before I have a pretty face like Chiara. I can be me, because what people fall in love with in Chiara is not just her face. They connected with her into her soul. And that's the only thing that can happen. The only way that can happen is when you tell your story, you know?
Yeah. I
So,
tell people, I get most engagement on videos where I'm so casual. I was miserable this week. Like I said, I was in pain, and I did a video, but the message was so powerful that people were like reaching out to me and just thanking me. And I always tell people, you know, when I post lifestyle, I've posted travel pictures in the Caribbean and Thailand, and none of them got as much engagement as any of my photos with my parents or holding my friend's baby, because that brings more of an emotional response out of people than travel, funnily enough. Now, people are more inclined to falling in love with a photo of a child, of a baby, than of travel pictures, funnily enough. And,
yeah.
you know, because people tell me I don't live in paradise like you, but, you know,
Mm-hmm.
my best engagement hasn't been on my travel pictures. It's been
Mm-hmm.
like if I have a picture just with my dad, all the dads would message me, "Oh, how sweet and so touching. You remind me of my daughter." And, you know, anything that makes you look like a human being is what gets people drawn to you. It's so funny. It's just
Yes.
the wrong idea of what lifestyle is.
Yes. You know, the storytelling thing, that's storytelling, by the way. What we're doing right now is storytelling. But people overcomplicate it. They say, storytelling, I'm not a storyteller. I'm like, what you just said is you telling a story that you're not a storyteller. How do I get started? How about we start from, how do I get started? How about we go on YouTube and say, how do I get started as a business, right? And just that action right there is telling the story. If you put a camera in your face as you go to YouTube and go search for how do I get started, you're now telling a story. You share that with the world. People start connecting with you as human, as a human being. And that's how you win in this business. And as ridiculous as it sounds, yes, it's that simple. But just to get off your butt and turn that camera on is where people struggle. And one thing that really makes me feel fulfilled in this business, and it sounds like it for you too, is when people start taking action, right? Or when they resonate with what you're saying, you can see them engaging, or they're thanking you. Anytime people respond with the heart like that, that makes you feel like that's really all I need. It's not even about the money anymore, you know? Just yesterday, one of our students just picked up the video and just decided to commit to the challenge. And that made me feel like every time that I don't get tired of, every time that happens, somebody say, I'm taking on the challenge, I'm telling my story to the world. The product is me. So once the product becomes you, anything you recommend is a go because they've connected with you.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So very, very, very nice stuff. Now with we haven't talked about your primary, but the bottom line, like we've been saying, doesn't matter, right? Is that what we've been saying?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what I mean. You can sell, if you can't sell yourself, you can't sell anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about one more thing here. Your 14th month, right? You struggled for 14 months. You've been around for 2 years. So you've had some decent success for 10 months in a row right now, right? But
Yeah.
more than that, 10 months?
More than
Well,
10.
2 years is 24 months. If you struggle for 14 months, that's 10 months left.
You may have done a mistake with the year. I'm sorry, it's going by too fast because I've been successful, I think, a year and a half. Okay, I must have done a mistake with the year. Sorry, Allah.
That's all right. It doesn't matter because, again, like you said, time is moving fast when you're enjoying life, and
No,
time can also be moving fast if you're struggling, though. If you're struggling with your bills, that 30 days comes very fast. And for those people but anyway, let me talk about the point where you started achieving success. What is the one thing that you feel changed besides mindset? What was the one strategy or something that you initiated? Obviously, mindset has to shift first. What was that one strategy?
Well, I remember at the time I had decided to join a new company, and I wanted to get specific help from a group of mentors. And what I had to do is, in order to get their help, I had to go all in with the company at the time. And I had to invest. Well, now for me, this time it's little, but at the time it was $4,000, and it really like I had to loan the money from a friend because I didn't even have the money. I was like a huge minus in my bank account.
Mm-hmm.
And when I invested the money, I was so uncomfortable. Like I was so like I cannot explain how uncomfortable I was with investing that $4,000, that I felt in a position where the only way out was to make it work, was to make the business work. So I remember just having a plan. I just said, okay, I'm just gonna focus on free Facebook because I had no money. I had no money to work with. And I just, focused so hard. I was under so much pressure that I just had to make it work because I had to pay the money up, I had to give the money back to my friend. So I would say it was making myself uncomfortable. And if for everyone, it's something different, But for me at the time, it was forking out a lot of money, investing money I personally didn't even have. So I think my recommendation as well would be do something that makes you so uncomfortable that, the only way out of your situation is making the business work.
I always tell people you have to have your back against the wall like this. If you don't, if you still have that day job that's paying you well, that may be a curse. And you have to find some. That's why the why is very important, because you have that why that's strong enough that your day job doesn't matter anymore, and you feel like your back is against the wall. Then all of a sudden you make it work. If you don't have that, sorry to say, they just always, after that you hear things like, at least I'm doing well, at least it's okay, why am I even chasing after money? They call it chasing after money, as opposed to chasing after the lifestyle that they want, right? So, yeah, fantastic stuff. The back has to be against the wall, yeah. But anyway, Berlin, Germany, United States, you just came here for the event, and you're in Berlin, and I remember you saying that you have to go back home now. You were saying something like you miss home or something like that.
No, I'm going for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to spend time with my family, but then I'm back. I'm actually transitioning to Berlin.
Okay. Are you going to move to the United States? That's the question. Especially now that Trump has just won.
I'm not moving to the United States. I wanted to, but it's not because of Trump either.
Oh, you wanted to actually?
There was a time when I wanted to, but
Oh, yeah?
I got over it a while ago because I want to be close to my parents. For me, life is not life without my family. I want to be able to visit my family when I can, or if I wanted to bring fly my mom here when my dad's on business trips, I could do that easily. She wouldn't fly to the United States by herself, but it's a 3-hour plane ride, Berlin to Malta. Europe is home for us. Like every country is literally our backyard, and Berlin's a hub, so I can fly anywhere an hour away within Europe, and I can see a new country. So next year the plan is to just visit European cities and take a huge break from long haul flights because I'm just exhausted. I wanted this so bad, but I've done it for a year and I'm just ready to drop the bags. I'm so tired. You know,
Yeah.
I've been to and then I went to LA, and then I came back to the Vegas. It's just been so exhausting.
Yeah, it's tiring. I did that in 2005 to 7, and I'm in Jersey, New Jersey. I'm okay. I just want to chill, you know. And the first event I've been in years is Vegas. This Vegas we just went to. I'm not going to event. I'm okay, you know. And when you have children too, you know, because family is life. If you're doing this, you want to do it because of lifestyle, right? And if you're not doing it with family, that's not a life, you know. You may need to get it out of your system though, just like you just did, right? Just do all the travelings you want to do and get it out of the system. Yeah.
I don't think I would have been ready. Now I feel ready to have my own family, but I wouldn't be ready now if I didn't do this crazy 1 year of running around like a mad woman, you know? Now I'm like, I am ready. You
Yeah.
know? So,
Yeah. Maybe that's why you're sleeping all day.
That was the antibiotics, I promise. Oh.
What do you see? What do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
In 5 years' time, I probably, you know, I have probably more of my own stuff, more product launches and anything that's more specific to helping people in the market.
I like hearing that. I just think it's the most sustainable thing you can do for yourself in this business.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of value to bring, but without network marketing, we cannot really become a person online. You know, it's like the company we're in, you know, they've really shot my brand to the roof. So I'm very thankful for that. Plus, newbies can come online and they have a system to learn fundamentals. You know, it's thanks to network marketing that I have a brand and I've learned the fundamentals of, you know, selling and, you know, recruiting. I don't think I can have a product launch before I've learned how to build everything sustainably with a network marketing business, because they provide everything for you. So you learn it slowly. And then when you have your own product, you're more comfortable doing it, you know?
Yeah. I can't, the only industry I can give my leadership, my evergreen hunger for leadership skill to is network marketing. Not even my church. Sorry to say. Network marketing. They have that. If anybody wants to learn anything leadership, culture, and how to build a business, I think they should drop that $200, $300, $1,000, whatever it is, and pay. That's going to be the best investment in education you can make by being a part of network marketing in that sense. Not because of the money, but because of the kind of education you're going to get out of it. They don't teach these things in school, you know, and you know. So definitely, I'm on your side about that. So I'm glad to hear that you're going to be focusing. I think you're doing a great job at that already with your brand, and I think it's really the way for you. Can recommend whatever you want to people after they've, you know, after they've done business with you, after they've gotten the value they can get out of your brand, you know. Now, with that being said, there was a question that keep coming to mind here about even network marketing and internet marketing and all those things. If you notice in this conversation, we haven't really talked about anything technical, because all those things don't matter. You can even outsource people to do any technical stuff for you, right? It's all about believing first, right? What was your belief system like 2 years or the time when you got started, when you came into this business? What was your belief system? Were you at any point skeptical?
Oh yeah, I mean, I started off very skeptical, and I had a very poor mindset. So there was a lot of stretching that needed to be made with my mind. You know, and you know, you mentioned technical. I had so many issues with technical things, and I suggest outsource it or try and figure it out myself using YouTube. Thanks to YouTube, I wouldn't be here. You know, sorry, thanks to YouTube, I'm here because
of YouTube.
Step by step through YouTube, you know. But I forgot what the question was.
Belief system. You're skeptical. You were skeptical, just like any other regular human being. You were skeptical.
I
But
was
you too.
skeptical, but I was like, I'm either going to give this a shot, and I hate to say this again because I always tell people, don't give this a shot, but go all in and
Mm-hmm.
give it a have a leap of faith.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna do this
Mm-hmm.
and see what happens, or I said I can live all my life
Mm-hmm.
working miserably. I just
Right.
couldn't live with the idea of living miserably without giving it a go. But when I gave it a go, I went all in. I gave it everything I got, like all my energy and more. So
Right.
I was like, if you saw me 2 years ago when I had a 9 to 5 and I was working my business,
Mm-hmm.
I was very unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
I was always bloated. I had no time to take care of myself. So because I just wanted to give this everything I got, basically.
Yeah. Beautiful. One last question for you. Okay. You scared? All right. Why did you create time for and do this interview in your own words?
Sorry, come again?
Why did you create time for this interview and why did you do this interview in your own words?
Well, first off, when I'm asked to be interviewed, I think it's a great opportunity to share with people who are interested in wanting to know more about people who are making it. I think it's my duty now to help people. Secondly, you're doing a podcast and I know that you're interviewing other successful leaders, so obviously I want to be a part of that. It's an honor. Hey, you're Allah. Come on. Who doesn't want to be interviewed by Allah? No, but it was great because obviously I know you're doing well as well. And the fact that you take interest to put a podcast together and, reach out to leaders, which you do a great job at because I know how much you chase people. Mm-hmm. And, to help other people, I think then it's in my interest as well to, come together with you and do this for others. So
thank you. I appreciate that you said that. And I always say in your own words, because we are in an arena where people, sadly, even some of the top leaders that are doing okay, and I say okay because I don't think they're at the level where you and I were talking right now. You're talking in 5 years, talking about your own brand. I don't think they're at that level yet. And I think the people that are meant to be will be there. They're just after chasing money, and they don't really value this type of time we spend together right now. And that's why I always want to ask that question so people can understand that abundance mindset is probably one of the things you want to put into your pocket as you're moving forward. Understand that there's more than enough for everybody to eat, and we are better. We're probably more stronger as two, probably 10 times more than as one. So just to encourage people who may feel, I don't want to give my audience over to that guy. Maybe I am. Just to encourage them that it's okay, yours is yours all day long. And I just want to appreciate you for spending this time. I think the ladies especially will appreciate this time. You gave so much value. It's an honor myself to be able to interview you. So thank you so much. And without any further ado, I hope you've been enlightened and educated. And I will see you on the next one. Peace. Hey, do you want my Steps to Six-Figure PDF? Do you want that? Do you want my free ebook on how to make six figures income in simple steps? Simply go to networkmarketing2show.com. networkmarketing2show.com.